Not over until we decide it is, but it's feeling like death is coming soon here. Welcome into the CHGO Bears Podcast with your handy-dandy host, yours truly, at the car, Mark Carman on Twitter, Kevin Kaduk in the middle seat today, the head of content, and Gregory P. Allen Braggs. Junior. In rare form, or I should say consistent form, ready to dominate today as we have a ton to cover. Braggs is super excited to talk stadium today.
I'm going to let you guys have it. I'm going to put the Cubs game on my phone.
Okay, that's fine.
Just tune out, man. Just relax.
Do whatever you want to do over there.
Get that paycheck.
Yes.
The Steelers are making Justin Fields a kick returner. Pat McAfee is talking to Ryan Poles. And we got a question for Bears fans at the end of the show that's got something to do with the NBA playoffs, one of the great teases of all time.
And a good guest.
And a good guest, a huge guest.
Huge guest. International guest.
International. We just tested his mic. He sounds incredible. And it's a famous dude, so stay tuned for that as well. We are presented today, this week, proudly by our friends at ButcherBox. Join today using our link, butcherbox.com/CHGO. Use the code CHGO to receive this exclusive offer today. Shout out to our guy Adam Hogue in the middle of family stuff, and we look forward to Hogue getting back next week. Shout out to Nick, who, of course, was sitting in Kevin's seat earlier in the week and talked about the passing of his grandfather. So it's been a heavy week here on CHGO. Mm-hmm. And, hey, we're also extremely happy to hold it down for you. So, all right. Look, I still believe in you, Kevin Warren. This wasn't just the Wednesday before the Thursday draft of Caleb Williams. You didn't do this as a we'll dump all this news and then it'll go away real quick. You wouldn't do that to me.
Yes, he did.
You wouldn't do that to me, Kevin.
He would.
You wouldn't do that to Chicago. You wouldn't do that to Bears fans who want the Bears in the city. I know that wasn't what was going on there. That's not what happened, right?
That's what happened.
Okay, well, that's and it is on the table that that's what happened, and that I'm just going to fall for everything that Kevin Warren does. But yesterday's meeting with the Pritzker people and the quotes coming out of there from one source, quote, "The money that comes from this hotel tax does not belong to the Bears, does not belong to the White Sox, does not belong to any sports team. That belongs to the taxpayer," this Pritzker source said. "There needs to be an evolution of thinking in the way that owners and sports teams approach asking and paying for sports stadiums because we're in a different world than what we were in 30 years ago. And it seems like everybody else understands that except for the people on these teams." Woof. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of money for the Bears coming out of Springfield unless they rework, I don't know, the revenue share, or they're going to have to put up more money than they want to put up. That $2 billion is going to have to rise. It ain't feeling that great for us Chicago people today. I don't know what your reaction was to this, Kevin. I know you've been kind of sort of in the Arlington Heights crowd the whole time and looking at me like I'm half crazy, but this was not a great day for the Chicago hopefuls out there.
I have been on the Arlington Heights crowd just because of the opportunities that's presented there and what they could build, but I've also been in the camp that they should build this with their own money. I mean, the NFL is one of the most successful businesses in the entire world, and to say we're going to go to the taxpayer again, hat in hand, and access these hotel taxes, to me, it kind of just reminds me of, I don't know if anyone else has a wife or significant other like this, but my wife thinks like that cash is not real money. Like if she uses cash that she makes, she does hair on the side, that if she does that, like, well, don't worry, I used cash. It's like, well, that cash was still real money. This hotel tax is still real money. that is being raised through taxes when people stay in hotel rooms. And just because this was set up 30 years ago to fund the new Sox Park and has existed and continues to go, doesn't mean it has to be like that forever. You just don't, like, that could be a tax that could be applied to other things and other real problems in our state.
And let me be clear, for the record, I have desperately wanted the Bears to stay in Chicago because I think the Bears belong in Chicago.
I haven't heard that yet.
Yeah, but listen, at the end of the day, the dude walking around on the street, dudette, whoever, working for a living, trying to put food on the table, that person is more important to me than the Bears being in Chicago. I don't want to see the public get screwed here for billionaires at all. I do want to see a win-win, which is where I've always been on this thing. And they do have a stadium over there that is costing more and more to keep up, that I have no idea what they're going to do with if they end up moving to Arlington Heights. They're going to tear it down, and then all that, the $600+ million that you owe on it now will be added on to whatever the upkeep is for however long it stays in shape, and then to tear it down so it's like $1 billion hole. I don't know how that's a good thing for anyone either. So there's got to be... And
this is obviously a very complicated situation, and then for Kevin Warren to roll out this plan on whatever it was, April 25th, April 26th, and say we want to get this through state legislature by May 24th, by the time everyone hits by summer, that wasn't going to happen. And I've talked about this on the show before. My childhood was basically marked by two things, like the Bears won the Super Bowl in 1985, and then after that, it was either it was like a parade of quarterbacks, and you'd always talk about that, and then you'd talk about the Bears Stadium deal, because that went on forever. And they were moving to Gary, they were moving to Keeneyville, they were going to build here, they were going to build there, and it took forever. And by the time they finally got stuff together, then we got left with the spaceship on the lake,
right?
Which in 2002, at that point, it looked fine because it was a lot better than 85,000 seats in the end zone in the old Soldier Field. 20 years later, it's a white elephant. So,
yeah, going back to that time, the spaceship thing never bothered me because the sightlines in the new Soldier Field are great.
Yeah,
it looks weird. I don't personally.
I've been up in the corner before, and it's not terrible.
It's not terrible.
It's cold.
It's brutal and cold, and and listen, back in the day that was my corner. I dominated Miller Lite sales out there. Shout out Miller Lite.
But if you ever went to Old Soldier Field and you were in one of the end zones, like you may as well have been in Gary.
You were in downtown.
Yeah,
I mean, if you were in the north end zone, you were in downtown.
I mean, their issue is the Bears have money. The NFL is a multi-billion-dollar organization, but that money is tied up in the team. It's not like the McAfee. It's not like Arthur Blank, who owns Home Depot. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, like, the McCaskies, they have money, but it's in the team. So, to me, that's the biggest issue. Now, if you have an opportunity to own the stadium and start profiting off of it in Arlington Heights, now you can get rich off of beyond just the money that's put inside the team. Now you're making money off of everything that would be within Bearslandia. That's the opportunity that they have. And in Chicago, I don't know if they have that opportunity to get sponsors attached to it, to get a casino or a sports book, Bet Rivers, or get Circa, hit up Derek, and let's build the Circa Sports Stadium out in Arlington Heights or Chicago for that matter. But that's the key, is to get somebody with money to build this thing.
If the Bears were willing to give up revenue share, I'm sure you could get all the people above. There would be a ton of people interested. In if you were to give up some ownership into it to buy into the stadium and build the stadium, that's one way the Bears could do it. Now, would the city allow them to do that and take less money just to have it there? That would be another negotiation. But apparently I'm not smart enough here. Can somebody explain to me, Kevin, Greg, Steven, the chat, what exactly is Kevin Warren or was Kevin Warren doing? Because
last Wednesday?
Yes, because if you when the governor was invited, Pritzker was invited, but then Pritzker didn't think he was invited. Like, you have to know that you need this dude on board.
Well, I told you what he was doing. I just said it with a very loud voice. He was flexing on Arlington Heights to put up or shut up.
This is all a play to get a little bit more text.
Yeah, I mean, because if you're going to show, if you're trying to play the dance in negotiation with Arlington Heights, you have to show them not only, hey, we might go over here. You have to show them that you're serious.
But they were already close enough. Like that they shouldn't. They did not need to do that. I don't know. Here,
I'll give this like Kevin Warren. Like if this is politics, and it may well be, he's sewing a good story about I love Chicago and this is where I want to be, and they did go through the to me, like those plans that we saw, like there wasn't a lot of detail in there. My favorite thing was somebody commented, I don't know if it was in our chat or on Twitter, but it's like I've seen more details in a presentation for a timeshare condo. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
And we didn't see that. But
and then the other aspect of it too that I've heard people bring up is it left them an out for when they do eventually leave. They can go, well, we tried. You can't say we didn't try.
That's the best one I've heard to this point. That, okay, sorry, we left you $1 billion hole over there, but we tried to stay, so don't look at us, look at them.
Right.
As the governor has said, this is Press Secretary Alex Goff, the golfer, my guy. As the governor has said, the current proposal is a non-starter for the state. In order to subsidize a brand new stadium for a privately owned sports team, the governor would need to see a demonstrable and tangible benefit to the taxpayers of Illinois. Now, here we go, Kevin. The governor's office remains open to conversation with the Bears lawmakers and other stakeholders with the understanding that responsible fiscal stewardship of taxpayer dollars remains the foremost priority. So there's a little creak of a door open, which is why we are still on life support here.
But to say the Bears pay for the entire thing, I don't think is realistic, because no matter where you put this, there is going to be an impact on local roads and local infrastructure, and that's just kind of how these things work. So, and theoretically, that improves the lives of whether people are in Chicago and Arlington Heights. Now, I don't know how you can actually improve the infrastructure when you're pinned against the lake like that, which to me is a reason not to build there. But at some point, you're going to have to figure out how to come up with that, $300 million, $500 million, $900, whatever it's going to cost. Like, you're going to have to get there, but you're not going to do it in 3 weeks in May when half the state legislature is already halfway out the door. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah. That part of it made.
And when we talk about the Bears not really having money to throw around, they already paid $200 million to buy the land in Arlington Heights. They don't get that back, so they have to figure out what they're going to do with that property, whether it's build a stadium or try to sell it.
Right. Well,
when this is all said and done, though, I just really want to know. I want to read the reporting of like how Kevin Warren was brought in here, because Kevin Warren did not make the decision to buy that land.
Right.
He came in here and he took the job knowing that they had just paid $187 million to build, theoretically build a stadium there, and within the span of the year, obviously he did have to go up there and position some enemies against Arlington Heights, but that's led to where we are now, where they don't seem any closer and maybe even farther away than they did a year ago.
Yeah, but the mayor of Arlington Heights continues to go on every network available and saying, look, we're here. Right. I'm right here, buddy.
Well, because they know they have the leverage now. He's gone to how many different counties and towns, and now he's trying to come back to Chicago, and they know that they don't have a winning hand. So Arlington Heights is sitting there like, well, but still here. Come on down.
Well, but they could play it like, we're not giving the Bears anything. If they come back to us, the deal's going to remain the same.
Right.
But they're sitting there saying like, hey, we're close. We can get there. We'll make it work. I mean, I don't need to read every quote here, but it's just like it's coming from all areas at Kevin right now. Friends of the Parks. If people missed that quote, we did not hear anything at the Bears news conference that could not take the place at another Chicago location. We have too many questions to make any decision about the value of these plans. We encourage the Bears and the administration to act with, quote, honor, integrity, transparency, wisdom, and be forward-thinking and collaborative and not repeat past mistakes. That's the Friends of the Park. By the way, I don't know how they got the name Friends of the Park. They should be called, they're the least friendly people of all time, as far as I can tell.
Well, I mean, they're protecting a public good.
So let's call it Park Advocates. You're not friends. They're not
Whatever.
friendly.
They kept George Lucas out of here with this dumb museum. To me, they're heroes.
You wouldn't want a sweet George Lucas.
No. Why should George Lucas have a piece of our lakefront? George Lucas isn't even from here.
But see, that's
his wife is.
But that's the thing. Like, listen, I live right over there. I don't see anybody hanging out like in this area. Like when I'm over there, I'm by myself.
Part of the reason that Chicago is what it is that we have
The lakefront.
staunchly guarded that lakefront. You can go all the way north, all the way south, and you don't run into really any commercial, no industry. And the reason is because when Daniel Burnham laid out the plan for the city, it was like businesses don't get a piece of this. You know, industry does not get a piece of this. Like, why should the Bears?
I love Burnham.
Did you want the Olympics?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I can't remember how I felt like 15 years
Because I remember
ago.
how much people in Chicago didn't want it, me being
Oh, it was going to be a disaster.
Yeah.
Like every single problem that Chicago ever had was going to be blamed on the Olympics, and maybe for good reason. It was. I mean, that would be a crazy undertaking.
right, and me being from
And then then Chicago and Daley just got pantsed by the even bigger crooks than he was in the international stage. Mm-hmm. Remember how quickly they ran out of that voting process?
Yep,
That
because
was
they weren't
amazing.
because the Olympic Committee wasn't going to deal with it, and that's what now the Bears are up against. Me being from Northwest Indiana and wanting to
You're a region guy.
work, I was like, hey, more work. It was going to bring money to our area, so I was like, hey, you guys.
Hold on a minute. Geek Bear says, yeah, I hate Kevin now. A Star Wars museum would have been awesome. I like Star Wars. It's fine. It's great.
You just
I
didn't
watch
want a
Star
giant
Wars.
museum.
Whatever. We don't need a Star like a Star Wars museum belongs
Would it
out
have stayed up
where George
forever?
Lucas is from. It doesn't belong here.
Would it have stayed up forever?
would have brought-
or would have
Yes,
been
it
one
was
of
like
those
this big
temporary
dumb
things
thing.
like
I don't
those
know.
Saved by the Bell restaurants.
I mean, it's
I
a
wanna
Barbie
gi-
museum.
I want
Yeah.
to give a shout out here to Family Farms. Appreciate them jumping on board with us here at CHGO Sports. Their culinary journey is woven with passion, dedication, and commitment to crafting the finest bacon-wrapped chicken, a timeless delicacy that has tantalized taste buds since 1974. At Family Farms, they're more than just a traditional name. They've evolved into purveyors of gourmet delights with signature bacon-wrapped chicken leading the way. Join them on their flavorful journey where every bite tells a story of tradition, quality, and the enduring spirit of Family Farms. The tradition continues, and you can find Family Farms bacon-wrapped chicken even easier. Look for them in the meat department at your local Woodman's and Mariano's. Craving a taste at home without leaving yours? We're thrilled to announce that at your arrival on Amazon Marketplace, you can get it from your online ordering. So experience that flavor that's become a family favorite for generations. Visit your nearest Woodman's or Mariano's once again, or visit the new Amazon Marketplace store today.
Shout out to our friends at CD1 Price Cleaners. Do this right now. CHGO.CD1, spell it out, ONE.com. Get yourself a discount to get your dry cleaning done. Customer saving.
Give them a try.
I mean, listen, when I went to CD1 Price Cleaners, I literally wanted to hang out there all day because you get to you get to watch them do the work. They're doing it right in front of you.
Free coffee.
Drink coffee, hang out. There's
Free
one
lollipops.
There's right in the South Loop. You could sit there.
Nothing Carm likes more than watching other people work.
Great.
Work hard.
One of your best lines ever. Except this morning when I was trying to work and somebody just couldn't stop talking and telling stories about himself. I don't know who that was. Customers can save 30% on their dry cleaning bill. You should go over to CD1 and tell them stories all day long. They'd love to listen to you. Other cleaners charge a different price for every garment. Plus, they got the upcharges. You pay a different price every time you visit. You don't want that. You want CD1 Price Cleaners. One price, any garment. Even your sports jerseys, that's right. Same one low price. Dry cleaning, wash and fold laundry, blankets and comforters, tailoring, leather cleaning, area rug cleaning, all of it. Visit chgo.cd1.com. And once there, you can pick up that in-store coupon. Or you get a delivery coupon option as well if you don't want to move. For our Bears fans that want to just hang out at home, which is sweet. All right.
So, yeah, I just want to say, because, like, obviously people are like, oh, is Braggs going to be civilized today? Nothing. There's nobody
You
that
came in hot
embodies.
last Wednesday.
There's nobody that embodies professionalism quite like the guy that put a bag on his head for 2.5 hours on a post-game show. But, I'm sorry. My issue isn't talking about the stadium because we're going to talk about this forever. And hopefully there is a conclusion at some point. At some point, just like the original Soldier Field when they renovated it, it will get built. There will be shovels in the ground, but who knows when that day will actually come. My issue was always the timing of the press conference, and it was calculated. It was something that they put in there as a political strategy because of leveraging, the time of the legislation closing, and then to me, leveraging you, the fans. They used you, Carm, and every one of you that were feeling high about the Bears and use the fans' hype to try to put that next to the stadium talk, and that puts pressure on Pritzker to be the bad guy here. And all my point was, this is our one time to enjoy the Chicago Bears. It was such a huge moment on Thursday. Can we not be distracted by something that's going to be a never-ending conversation where it's going to have its ups and downs? And now, we went from last week like, oh, this is going to happen, everyone. We should just be excited. Greg, why can't you be excited too? Oh, this is on it's on a lifeline right now.
Yeah.
Like that's, and to me, it's laughable that we couldn't see that coming. As you said, Carm, nobody gets more hype than I do about things that'll never happen, including Chase Claypool dominating the regular season of last year. But at the same time, I think anybody with a brain that's been around here in Chicago could tell you that everything they did last week was a dog and pony show that really wasn't going to happen anytime soon.
Well, so we can feel free, and I'll point the thumb, calling myself an idiot. If we want to go down that road, Kevin Warren is new to this, so I was taking him at his word. He got the stadium done in Minnesota. He had the mayor on board. I figured he had a legitimate plan, other than trying to do what you're saying is that we're going to do this today, and then it won't be talked about tomorrow, and that'll be our one little foray, and then we're going to go back to Arlington Heights, and you guys can figure out whatever the hell to do here on the lakefront. We're out of here because we know that's what's happening, and we'll never get any approval. I would think that he would be above doing something like that. And I also took him at his word and I do still believe that they really want to be in Chicago. But if you really want to be there, then work behind the scenes for however long you need to work behind the scenes, get everyone on board, and then put it out there. But they didn't do that. And then, you read these statements, and we could have brought this back before, but we didn't want to talk stadium again because it was so exhausting.
I almost feel like this is like the new Caleb versus Justin, by the way.
I mean,
I'm watching the comments right now, and people are staking their positions deep.
Well, and listen, again, I want him to be in Chicago.
Just why I didn't want to argue about it last week.
I want the best thing for the Bears.
Enjoy my life and bask in the Caleb
I want the best thing
glory.
for the Bears, and I want the best thing for the experience of the fans, and I want the best thing for the taxpayer. And getting all three of those things in Simpatico is going to take a long time, and there's going to be a lot of arguing. There's got to be concessions from both sides.
Even when they put the shovels in the ground, you think the process of building this stadium isn't going to take time?
I'm not worried. Let's get to that point.
Right. I'm just saying, like, this is...
Chris Welch, your Illinois House Speaker. I want to say to you publicly what I said to Kevin Warren privately last week. If we were to put the issue on the board for a vote right now, it would fail. It would fail miserably. I mean, there's no environment for something like this today. Now, in Springfield, environments change. Will that environment change within the next 30 days? I think that's highly unlikely, to your point. It's going to take more than 30 days to work this through. Right. So the Bears can yell about, like, the longer we don't do this, the more money's going to cost. Look, man, forget about what money it's going to cost in the short term, but this is about a long-term gain. That's not – you can't try to sell this through and say, well, you got to do this really, really quickly so we don't spend X amount of more dollars. It needs to be done right. And
I'm glad we're just paid to talk about it and not figure these problems out.
I'd like to be paid to figure it out. I swear to God, I can figure this thing out. I've said this from the start. There's got to be a win-win here.
Ultimately, you should just be happy.
Carr would be out there just filling his pockets from both sides.
Ultimately,
I do whatever. I get this shit done.
Ultimately, you should just be happy, though, because the longer this drags out, and it will, the longer they're on the lakefront playing at the Soldier Field they currently have.
Yeah, they're not. Okay, maybe that'll be the case. But, and just one more underlining here. The Bears are with the Chiefs. They're with the Bengals. They're with the Browns. And they're also with Jacksonville. All these places are looking for stadiums. And all of right now, as far as public money goes, it ain't happening.
Did you see the tweet this morning? Somebody said every stadium in the NFL is going to look like Allegiant Stadium within 30 or 40 years.
Right.
Well, at least it's net carbon zero, man. Like, which
Well,
is
there's already. I mean, what they showed the presentation for the stadium in Chicago, it's a carbon copy,
Right.
and there's like 3 other stadiums that look just like it.
Well,
So
it-
I mean, MLB stadiums started to go down this road, and the Bears are going to fall.
Yeah, so
in
not
line.
even to get an architecture argument, but like Chicago should have something unique.
But that's that. I hear what you're saying, but that's also like to the Kevin Warren point. There are environmental groups. If you talked about building a carbon neutral stadium, that you could get on board, and they would put pressure on the Friends of the Parks. If you did it, the Bears did not get aligned here enough, as far as I can tell.
The Friends of the Parks.
The
That
park
should
people.
be a sitcom.
I'm renaming them.
That
You are
should
the
be
park people, and that's cool. Like I appreciate parks. That's great. Advocate for the lakefront, but your Friends is that's just I can't. I'm not doing it. All right. Can we segue over to what's going on in Pittsburgh real quick here? Is that what's next?
Yeah, sure.
It's a Steelers podcast. Let's go.
Well, Pittsburgh. You have Justin Fields. And Pro Football Talk putting this piece out, and it came off the Cam Hayward podcast, that the Steelers are legit considering making Justin Fields a kick returner.
I think legit might be going a bridge too far there.
What word would you
It was
prefer?
Jalen Warren just kind of being like, oh, yeah.
Offhandedly.
Like an offhand
Yeah.
remark.
I don't think it's legitimately. I think it's offhandedly.
Offhandedly. Okay, hold on.
Get the glasses on.
Let me see if you think
You're like the master of the offhand remark.
That's fine, but
You should know one when you hear it.
Well, dude. So when asked Jalen Warren on the Cam Hayward podcast if he would like to return kicks, Warren said that he would, and then revealed that special teams quarter Danny Smith wants to give Fields a try at returning kicks. And I think it's pretty cool, as he said, in returning it. Our special teams coordinator was talking about Justin Fields back there. We looked at him like, Justin Fields will be back there? I think it's cool. I don't know, man. That seems to me pretty legit that the special teams coordinator wants to put Justin Fields at kick return. Doesn't say that Tomlin's got the buy-in.
Because wasn't there some quote about with the new kick return rule being part of the reason why he might work on that?
Yeah. That's
Right.
why you want to have 2 people back there, because you are going to be returning all these kicks, and they could, So if people kick away from Patterson, they're kicking the Fields. Pick your poison.
I mean,
Steelers.
at this point, I honestly just feel bad for Justin. Like, to even have a report out there where that's being, considered by his coaching staff on the record, on a podcast. Like, to me, we've had our conversations about Justin Fields' flaws on these shows ad nauseum, and I look forward to the day that this is all completely behind us. But obviously, a lot of Bears fans are talking about it today. But I just think it just speaks to my whole point of this league doesn't know how to use a quarterback like Justin Fields, who may not throw with anticipation, but can move the chains in his own right, in his own way, and can deliver the football to playmakers, but maybe not in the way that Caleb Williams can or Peyton Manning can. So to me, I think it is a knock against the coaches of this league. I said this when the Bears traded him for next year's 6th-round pick. It just shows to me that coaches don't want to adjust to a player like Justin and figure out how they can get the most out of him as the quarterback, even with his limitations in certain aspects of the game. But he has strengths, is the point, and they don't want to try to find those strengths.
But what's the difference between this and saying, oh, turn Justin into a running back because he's actually a running back?
So you don't think they'll do it, is what you're saying?
No.
You think this is just some Cam Hayward podcast out of nowhere, and one player and the special teams coordinator was just like flippantly saying that, and this dude.
I mean, who knows? I mean, we the Justin's rookie season, he gets in on the that first game in Los Angeles to run, and he runs it in for a touchdown. So that was them being imaginative. He wasn't the starter at that point. and they found a way to use him. Now, are you going to actually use him in special teams? I don't know. Like, could you really, like, I still don't have like a really great concept of
What
these,
the kickoff
these
looks
new
like?
rules or what they look like or what, like I don't have a great feel for it. I've seen the explainers.
Yeah, the bottom line, forget about great feel. You don't even need it. Do you want your quarterback getting smacked?
Right, he's your backup quarterback. Right.
Do you want your backup quarterback who could supplant Russell Wilson at some point?
Right. If Russell-
Do you want him getting smacked?
No.
I wouldn't think you would. But I do think Fields could handle it because he is built that well. I just don't think you would do that.
He just missed 4 games last year, and how many the year
That's
before
true,
that?
Right.
but he was in a defensive position. Like
And
if
they have
if
another
if he's getting the
quarterback.
ball and he's headed towards you,
They have
he'll
another
truck you.
quarterback on the roster too, right? It's not just Justin and Russell. They have
Is
somebody
it
else.
Mason Rudolph? Is he still there?
What?
Is it Mason Rudolph?
I'd have
No,
to look
no,
it
no,
up.
no.
Maybe somebody in the
Anyone?
chat can help out. Regardless,
think it's
he's
did
not a
Rudolph
kick
storm out of
returner.
there?
He's not a kick returner. He's a flawed quarterback. And that's what we've said for a year now, and we've had to the chagrin of a lot of people that have tuned into this show. And so I'm not sitting here saying like, he's going to be. I'm just trying to point out like, hey, this guy can make plays. It's just not in the way. Yes, it's easier to build your offense around a quarterback like Caleb Williams. And that's why Ryan Poles is moving on to to this offense, because guys that throw with anticipation, guys that want to stay in the pocket, that's what a quarterback is. Justin does it in a completely different way, in a way that Lamar Jackson does it in some ways. And that's not the easiest to mold your offense around, to mold your personnel around a guy that is run first type quarterback. But that's who he is, and that's why he's a backup now, and you've got special teams coordinators talking about how they can use him. Honestly, like I said, I just feel bad for him.
Real quick trivia question before our break
Kyle
here.
Allen was right. By the way, in the chat, you got that right.
Yeah, Kyle.
What do you got?
Quick trivia. Who's the all-time leader in kick return touchdowns?
Cordero Patterson,
What team does he play for?
the Steelers.
Why would the Steelers be considering using anybody else when they have the record holder on their team right now?
So, because you're gonna be lining up 2 with the new rules. It's not just to be one guy back there.
Yeah.
And so,
But you'll have time to adjust to that kick, and we've seen this before with the 2 returner options back there. You could still have Patterson returning the kick. So what's Justin Fields on a blocker?
yeah, but I don't know if you're gonna have time. We'll have to see how it unfolds here. But I think dudes are gonna have 2 back there, and yes, the primary guy is. They'll try to get it in Patterson's hands as often as possible, but so maybe it's Justin. You're right, though. Maybe sometimes he will be the blocker.
Real quick, by the way, almost
we
kind of
just
feels like Justin Fields is headed towards that Tim Tebow territory, where it's just like the back half of his career just becomes.
Could be a tight end too.
Right, or
And it sucks. As someone who really likes Justin and thinks he's a heck of a leader and deserves another chance, like I don't want to see it going that way.
Well, Carm called him, or not called him Taysom Hill. I'm not going to put words in your mouth there, but you suggested
that they use him that way. Right. Well, and then people are saying that too today, that they're going to by week 5 they're going to be using him like the Saints used Taysom Hill.
Maybe I'm an idiot, but I just felt like his ceiling was a touch higher than that.
Let me raise my hand.
I am an idiot.
Let me Mike Tomlin, Carm here. Just to give you a little piece of advice. You're going nowhere with Russell Wilson. Justin Fields was used terribly here in Chicago. There's still a chance that you can unearth something. You're way smarter at your business than the Bears have historically been. Your starting quarterback should be Justin Fields. He shouldn't be your kick returner. He shouldn't be your Taysom Hill. He should be your starting quarterback. And the faster you get to that and find if you can unearth something this year, that's what you should be doing. And if you can't do it, okay, then you can go back to Russell. I know that the Steelers are always in the playoffs, and I know they always put their best foot forward. And I know you think that Justin should learn from Russell and that he needs this time away. But he doesn't need a year to learn. He needs a team around him and an opportunity. That's what he needs. He's been, sure, 2 games, 3 games, whatever. But the quicker you get to him, in my mind, the better off the Steelers will be.
Well,
Absolutely.
let's see what the odds are on the Circa Sports book, for, kick return total, attempts for Justin Fields. And when you check out the Circa Sports book, they got tight money line splits. Games strive to be a minus 110 split on the Circa Sports menu, unlike other sports books, which may use a minus 115 or minus 120 split. They keep as little money as possible on large market bets, especially compared to other books. Go see for yourself. Download every sports betting app available. Compare the lines from every sports book. No better sports book than Circa Sportsbook. Their customer service second to none. Real people that resolve your issues in a timely fashion. All aspects of the app are being run by the same team that runs the main Circa Sportsbook at Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas. So download the Circa Sports Illinois app at circasports.com/Illinois-app to sign up today. Also, be on the lookout for Circa events, watch parties, and tailgates. If you or someone you may know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text GAMB to 833-234 or visit areyourreallywinning.com. One of those Circa events we have coming up is tomorrow at Wrigley Field. Me and my guy over there sitting watching the Cubs game right now, Cody Del Mendo, the Friday 120 Club. We're having a live post-game show at Almost Home, but the party starts at Murphy's Bleachers, world famous Murphy's Bleachers, pregame at 10 a.m. Then we'll be in the bleachers for Cubs and Brewers while we continue to taunt the Brewers for stealing their manager out from underneath them. And then, like I said, we'll be at Almost Home afterwards for a live CHGO Cubs post-game show. So that's Circa Sports. Have a lot of fun with them every time we go out for the Friday 120 Club. So shout out to them.
Good times. Hey, I'm looking forward to the schedule release in the NFL. Should be happening sometime this month, maybe next week, the week after.
Week or two.
Part of the reason is because we're finally going to learn who the Bears are playing in London and when they're playing in London. We know it's probably sometime in October. Once that comes out, there's going to be a rush of people trying to secure their flights. Right now, though, you can secure your deposit with the CHGO Bears trip and True Fan Travel because we are headed across the pond. Our amazing package includes flights to London, 4 to 5 star hotel accommodations, all close to the action, a welcome event held at our favorite London pub.
Yep.
Private boat cruise on the river, all-inclusive tailgate party close to the stadium, upper-level ticket to the Bears game, transportation, airport transfers to and from the game, on-site trip coordinators, breakfast at the hotel every meeting, and then you get to hang out with us. So I know we're looking forward to it. We were talking about it a lot.
You can sleep in
during
Carm's
the draft
bed.
Party. Well, that's not included. That's extra. That's
who gets
part of a different
drunk
package.
the most at the first bar party? I got an idea.
It's going to be you.
Oh, it is?
Who was drunker on Thursday night at the draft party? Me or you?
I wasn't drunk at the draft party. You did.
Thursday night when we got fed shots?
I take it back. Thursday night, by the end of the night, I was in trouble.
So the answer's you because you can't keep up.
Let me finish this
I
ad
might
read.
have more.
I might have 38 drinks, but I'll be fine.
True Fan Travel is your passport to the world of sports. Over 8,000 fans have traveled over 145 trips. Don't just watch the game, live it with True Fan Travel. Check them out. Link in the description or on our social channels.
I'm very excited for
Seriously.
London, and I hope every single person, including you,
Yeah.
Pizzy Tola, Ruby, David, everybody else.
If
Hippie.
Duke comes, I do not want Duke to reveal himself. I don't ever want to know who Duke is. I think it'll ruin it. So Duke,
What if he's an actual Duke?
I disagrei. I'd
He
love to
shows
meet.
up dressed like a Duke.
I would love to meet the Duke.
You'll have
I
no
would-
choice.
If the Duke came, you would hug the Duke the entire week. You just would be attach yourself to the Duke. Is that too weird? That might have been a little
I
weird.
miss the Duke.
but seriously, go to True Fan Travel, search the CHGO Bears, event, and see the details. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we hope you can make it.
So special guest coming on the show right now. And if you were watching the NFL draft and the Bears getting some stupid pick in the 4th round, who's going to be the greatest punter in the history of the game, you might have noticed this dude. Gregory, would you like to introduce our fine guest?
Yes, sir. The international Bears fan of the year, our number one pick here at CHGO Bears here today. James Goers joins the show. How you doing, James?
Hey guys, yeah, pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me on. I know you're just speaking about London there. It'd be great to see you all as you come to London. So yeah, looking forward to that massively.
Yeah, we look forward to seeing you. So what do you live in London, or what part of the area are you from?
Yeah, I'm about 40 minutes out from London, so not very far. If you know of Silverstone Formula One, I live right by the track that we have there. So yeah, not far from London at all.
So how does one become the international Bears fan of the year, right? Because they had international fan of the year for every team, correct?
Yeah, correct. So there was one representative from each team. Someone from Mexico, someone from Australia, China, a few guys from the UK and Germany as well. It was all a bit of a crazy story, to be honest, and I really still can't believe that I am the international fan of the year for the Bears. But I went to an event in London at somewhere called Battersea Power Station that the NFL hosted. That was kind of like a day for UK fans for one of the games over here. It was kind of an opportunity to do like a mini combine. So I did like the vertical jump and the throwing challenge. Roger Goodell was there, people like that. And because the Bears are partnered with the UK, a representative came up to me and gave me a flyer. I thought nothing of it, kind of put it in my back pocket, and enjoyed the day, had a few beers, that kind of stuff. And then later when I was kind of getting home, I sort of remembered it in my back pocket. So it was kind of a form, it was a competition-based thing. I filled it out, took ages, loads of tick boxes, and why I'm a fan, where it all began, that kind of stuff. And, a few months later, I was in Latvia for a stag do. And I got this email from the Bears saying, we're reaching out to UK-based fans in preparation for the game in London, and we want to know of any fan events that you'd like to see. So I was like, oh, God, yeah, I really want to help, promote some fan events over here. So you might have seen it in the UK Bears Instagram, but they kind of pranked me. We kind of spoke about these ideas that I put a lot of work into. And then, at the end, they flicked to this video message from the Sandman himself, Jack Sanborn, announcing that I'd won. And I still can't believe it now, as I said.
And you're wearing a Sand God jersey right now?
Have to represent it. I'm gutted that the commentator, when I did my pick, got his name wrong. He called him Seaborn, but I've got to rep Jack because he was the one that made the announcement. He told me that I was going to be making the pick as well, and then he told me that they're giving me 2 tickets to the London game. So yeah, got to say thanks to Jack there.
So there were supposedly over 800,000 people at that draft. Take us through walking out onto that stage. It must have been wild. It must have been a trip. You didn't look nervous at all, and you had those Lions fans held down. I loved it. So, take me through, how did that all come about?
Yeah, no, I felt like a bit of a puppeteer. I had the Lions fans on absolute strings, and that was my goal. I wanted to rile them up. I wanted to, make them hate me, and I hope they do. But yeah, it was kind of a weird thing. So I obviously knew I was going to be doing this pick unless we traded it. So thanks to Ryan Poles for not trading it. But about 10 picks before, they called me up to go into sort of the back room, kind of the behind the scenes of the whole stage of the draft. And I was chilling in this kind of dark room with a big kind of TV screen with a huge Excel spreadsheet on with all the picks coming through. So I was seeing the picks before they were even getting announced to the public, and I was chilling in there with nonetheless Sketch the streamer because he picked one after me. So that was a weird experience, just me and Sketch in this random room waiting to go out. So I was kind of psyching myself up. I didn't have anything planned that I was going to say. I was just kind of thinking, yeah, I'm not nervous. This is my moment. I'm going to smash this. And when they told me, yep, your time is up, this is the pick, and I was like, oh my God, we've drafted a punter in the 4th round. I'm about to go out in front of 175,000 people there on the day and announce a punter in front of everybody. But I thought, nah, I'm just going to own it. Went out there, greeted by thousands of boos straight away, and that's when I knew, I had them in my hands like that, and I could play up to the crowd. I was saying if it was if I was a fan of Tennessee or something, the crowd wouldn't really be that fussed or bothered about it. But because it's a rival, because of that kind of hatred there, I was able to play up to that. And the first line, it's my new catchphrase now, was hey Bears fans, can you hear anything? Because I can't. Once I heard all those boos, then I know I had them.
Were you drinking?
No. So the 2 nights before, I drank too much. If I'm honest with you, Carm, I had too much. in the bear pit, I was screaming my lungs off. But then for day 3, I thought, oh my God, I'm actually going to be going out in front of people, so I better be a bit responsible. And it was like 11 a.m. By the time I got there, so a little bit too early. But I did certainly have a few after to calm down.
Not
Do
too,
they get-
not
do they
too
get-
early for me. I mean,
Right. Do they give you any rules about what you can or can't say?
To be honest, no, which surprised me because I could have said anything. I could have sworn. I could have said something really bad.
And that would have been the end of International Fan of the Year, by the way.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I said, if they ever invite me back to Green Bay next year, I will definitely get cancelled, to rile up the Packers fans. But no, they didn't tell me anything. I was really, really fortunate as well that it was an easy name to say, like Tory Taylor. I didn't want a name that I could not pronounce, so that was kind of a bit of a relief for me there. And yeah, obviously I went out there, did my thing, and the whole thing I wanted to do was make Bears fans proud, not just in the US but internationally as well. And hopefully I did that, guys.
well, you definitely did. I mean, it was a lot of fun to watch. You get everybody riled up.
Well, so I don't think you get to do back-to-back year performances. So why don't we just act like we're in Green Bay? This is next year, and you're back up. And how would you do it?
Oh God, you put me on the spot. So I'd go up to the podium and I'd kind of do like a sniffing thing. I'd go, "Can you smell that? Something stinks. Is it the rotten cheeseheads? Maybe. Is it the city of Green Bay? Possibly. Is it them Packers fans? Most definitely. But what stinks the most is them Green Bay Packers. NFL, why are you doing the draft in a sewer? Come back to a better city. The best city, Chicago." Something like that.
Let's go.
Let's go, James.
Right on the spot. Right on this. He's James. You're a natural. So now, so now,
Braggs, by the way, you've been fired. We're hiring James.
hey,
Okay.
I fully
Region
love
out,
it.
London in.
the London meatball. When we go out there, I'm
Yeah.
sure I'll be too inebriated to do any of the shows anyway. You can take my spot. Happy to do that. So, James, the next day you went back to Hallis Hall, right?
Yeah.
After you made the selection.
No, so I went to Hallis Hall before the draft,
Oh,
and that
before
was
the draft.
crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, so I had a choice to either do it before or after. And now, if I had my time again, I'd probably go after because then people would know me a bit more. But I went before, and that was still amazing. Not many fans get to go to Hallis Hall, so that was an absolute dream come true, really. I mean, I met Kevin Warren. He gave me his business card. I met George McCaskey. Obviously, I met Sanborn. And I was just walking around the place, like even in the canteen area, bumping into Darnell Wright, who's an absolute monster of a man. Coach Floose at the salad bar. It was just surreal, man. And I saw Ryan Poles do his lap outside. So he walks around the practice field every single day.
Did he have
to
his
take
vest on?
Yeah, so he had his Jordans on, he had the swag on, he had his AirPods in, and he was just going for a walk. And I thought, that's a man on a mission. That is a man that is going to take our franchise to a Lombardi. And yeah, so it was just awesome. And yeah, something I'll never, ever, ever forget.
James, behind the scenes, can you remember what Floose had on his salad? Did he go croutons? Was it extensive dressing? Can you
Whoa!
Was he a saucy Floose?
I'm interested in
Yeah.
a Floose salad. Oddly.
Well, Floose is he's gone all healthy now, hasn't he? He's looking good, I must say. He's got the beard, he's got the hair, he's working out, so he's gone pure health. But the food at Hallis Hall was absolutely unreal. The selection that the players have was just phenomenal. So yeah, no, that was really, really cool, just to be in and around that. And yeah, shout out to the Bears representatives that allowed me to do that.
Real quick, obviously the Bears are coming back to London here this year. We look forward to seeing you when we get out there, playing again at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I was lucky enough to be able to go to that game a few years ago when they played. I'm assuming you went to that game as well.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
So I guess my question is, what advice would you give to fans that are coming over that are going to be visiting London for the first time? Like, what are some of the things that they should be doing when they take in the event, obviously outside of hanging out with us and CHGO Bears?
Yeah, and I love the trip that you guys are putting together. That sounds amazing. And anyone that hasn't, do sign up to that trip that the guys at CHGO are putting on, because yeah, that will be a great time. But yeah, like you say, I went to the game back in London in 2019. Yeah, it was good and it was cool to have the Bears over. But obviously we had Trubisky then, but he was even injured, so it was Chase Daniel starting. It was an away game against the Raiders, but this time it is a home game. The Bears is one of the most supported franchises in the UK, so there will be plenty of of navy blue and orange out there. I promise that. But for you guys that might be coming over for the first time to London, don't stay in Tottenham. Travel in there. Tottenham is not the nicest of areas. I can say that myself because I'm a season ticket holder at Tottenham. They are my soccer team, so I go there quite a lot. But there's so many sights to see. All the main ones, obviously, Big Ben, London Eye, a river cruise down the River Thames. You've got to get a good old typical full English breakfast or fish and chips. All the delicacies that we have over here. But yeah, it's going to be a great time.
Your breakfasts are terrible, James.
No, mate. No, I'm not having this. No.
They're terrible.
Our bacon is superior to the US bacon. I'm sorry, man.
Bacon's fine. The rest of the stuff on the plate is complete nonsense.
Bragsy, it's like a 4-year-old, James. Don't listen to him.
Pancakes, waffles,
Chocolate
ham,
milk.
chocolate milk.
We call that dessert over here. We don't have waffles for breakfast. That's a dessert.
What's the English breakfast again for those that don't know?
Sorry, what was that? Sorry, Tom.
What is the English breakfast for those that don't know?
You need to do it properly, okay? So you've got a couple of sausages, a couple of bits of bacon, baked beans, either sunny side up egg or scrambled egg, black pudding, which is fried pig's blood. You've got hash browns, proper hash browns, not some of that American rubbish that you guys have. Fried bread as well. There's so much. So yeah, you need to get a proper English breakfast. Proper go for
the text before lunch move. I love it. Let's go.
Just complete nonsense.
I can't wait.
Hey, have you seen A Fish Called Wanda there, James? You're probably too young for that. Or have you?
Yeah, I am too young. I'm only 25, Carm. But it is my birthday tomorrow, actually, so I'll be turning 26 tomorrow. So this is a treat.
There we go. The old Matsui.
Yeah.
All right.
So I've had a good couple of weeks, to say the least.
Go watch that movie. It does a great job for your city. And by the way, forget about the Bears for just a second. I need tickets for Wimbledon, James. Can you hook that up?
Well, Carl, tickets to Wimbledon. I thought you'd be playing there soon. You're a master at tennis and pickleball. You're a man.
Don't do this, James.
A bohemian amongst men. You're a barbarian, Carm. You're an absolute legend. I was thinking earlier. I know obviously Nick and Hogue aren't here. My thoughts are with them. But I liken you guys to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I don't know if you've ever been compared to those before, but I've got Leonardo, the leader. I think that is Mr. Adam Hogue. Someone that you depend on, someone that you go to advice for. Donatello, the brains, the innovator, the analysis, Mr. Nicholas Moriano. Raphael, the red guy, the angry guy, the guy you want to go into war with, Mr. Gregory P. Allen Braggs Jr. And then my favorite of the Ninja Turtles, the funny one, the lovable one, the one that keeps everybody entertained, Mr. Mark Carman. All right, so that is my comparison. I thought I'd have to share that.
Very good.
So,
love it.
I'm a Ninja Turtle at heart.
You are.
Damn it.
I love it.
James, you're my favorite person in the history of the show, so come back, please.
Awesome.
Oh, it'll be a pleasure. No, it's crazy. I listen to the show every day, so to actually be on it is another dream come true, to be honest, guys. So thanks so much to you, Braggs, for reaching out.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you coming on, and congratulations once again. You did such a great job, and you did make Bears fans proud. There's been a bunch of people in our chat singing your praises as well, so it's fun to talk to you. Look forward to shaking your hand and sharing a drink with you when we head over there here in a few months.
Yeah, hit the like button for James.
Yeah.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
And a full English breakfast, Braggs. We'll have to go for one. I'll show you a proper.
All right.
Yeah.
First pint is on Carm.
I'll go 5 pints. Let's go. I'll just spend money like I'm Braggs when I'm over there. Act like I'm the richest man on the planet. Thanks, James. You're the man, brother.
Thank you, guys. Take care. All the best. Bye now. See you in London.
Yes, sir.
All right. Can we get
It's fun.
like button for James, subscribe button for James, anything for James. James is the man.
Yeah, that was fun.
I would subscribe
Good
to
job,
James' YouTube channel. I don't know if he has one.
Yeah, I think everybody would, including Pidge.
But if you can't do that, subscribe to ours.
Yeah, that would be good too.
I like that you got the compliment on the legs from Caleb's coach yesterday, and Carm gets a compliment on his tennis skills from James today.
Tough loss last night to Lucian, Kevin. We'll talk about it maybe on the CHGO Sports podcast.
You lost to a guy named Lucian?
Won the first set 6-1. Lost the net 6-1.
Lucian sounds like
He's the Terminator. Don't
he,
Lucian.
he actually sounds like the enemy in like a 1980s Wall Street movie.
Dude,
Lucian.
nicest guy ever, but the Terminator.
Okay.
I know everybody cares about this. Let's actually, can we talk about something that people do outside of James that people do care about before we get out of here? which was Ryan Poles on the Pat McAfee show yesterday.
Sure.
Did you watch the interview, Braggs, or did you just hear about it?
I did watch the interview this morning while I was on the treadmill while you were sleeping like a bum.
I was up super early this morning, so that's incorrect information by you. But what was your highlight then?
I guess the highlight to me was that it appears his mind was made up months ago. When he says, I fell in love with the tape right away. Well, Caleb Williams' tape has been around since 2 years ago. So, obviously Caleb's not a secret to anyone, including someone like Ryan Poles. And so when he says he fell in love with the tape and just needed to get to know the person, that to me, all this posturing between fans of trying to understand what they were going to do and, maybe they'll trade the number 1 pick. No, Ryan Poles was sending this ticket in January.
Yeah, the film had my heart from the beginning is what he said. I was a little bit surprised, but he said on there that he did not tell Caleb that he was drafting him before the Bears actually drafted him. So he kept that close to the vest as far as just telling him officially. But then he was asked about, hey, man, you got Keenan Allen, you got Rome Odunze, you got Gerald Everett, you got Cole Kmet, you got DeAndre Swift. Are you going to let this offense, do you expect to let it loose here? And he used the word balance multiple times. Shane is going to do a good job putting Caleb in a position to be successful. And then he said balance twice. With all the weapons we have, we should have some success in the air. But it was very, I don't know if over the top is the right way of saying it, but balance. I don't think this is going to be an air show coming in here year one, if you believe what Poles had to say yesterday.
Were you of that belief before this?
I was of that hope. Like 75-25. I don't want to run the ball. I mean, I want to run it when it makes sense to run it, but like a balanced offense. Mitchell Trubisky's not the quarterback of this team anymore. Like, this is the dude. I want to see the dude throw the football. I don't know what you guys want. I mean, Caleb Cook. Put Caleb in the kitchen, baby. Caleb back there overseeing the scene.
You're still going to run a balanced offense. A good offense is a balanced one. What do you mean why? Because when you run the ball effectively...
Do the Packers run a balanced offense?
When you run... Yes. Did you just ask that question? That was a stupid question.
In his hate. Last year, yes.
But when Aaron Rodgers got running backs for years. What are you talking about?
When Aaron Rodgers wants to cook, they let him cook, man.
We're not talking about Tom Brady with Randy Moss. Like,
what are we talking about?
Well, we're talking about running a balanced offense, and you asked why. And I'm trying to tell you.
Tell me why. Explain to me why.
I mean, it's pretty simple. But when you run the ball effectively, then that sucks in the linebackers. That keeps the safety peaking, which then opens up the ball over the linebacker's head down the seam. Opens up the deep ball for DJ Moore down the sideline. If all you're doing is throwing the ball and you don't run balance, you don't put a defense on their heels where they don't know what you're going to do, that makes it all the more easy to play defense against them. The Bears last year, they knew that they just had to contain Justin Fields and the
Chiefs
run.
Run a balanced offense?
They run the ball. But you're using the most extreme example.
We have an extreme dude. Is he not going to be extreme?
I can't wait for that day.
Who still has yet to play an NFL game.
Yeah,
I can't. It's not. And what the offense they're running in game 1 of Caleb Williams is going to look different than the offense they're running in game 100 of Caleb Williams, 200, 300, whatever.
If you just drop back 50 times,
you're going
to get him killed.
40.
Pass rushes can just pin their ears
35.
back and go after it.
If we have 50 plays, how many runs do you want to see?
I don't.
Whatever gets them across the goal line. They have enough weapons to do whatever they want on whatever part of the field.
This is not a hard question. You can answer this question, Gregory. And so can you. If they have 50 plays, how many passes, how many runs?
I hate you. I mean,
let's run it 25
times. 35 and 20? I mean, how many? I don't know.
35 plus 20 equals 55.
Well, like,
so 35 and 15.
No. How many plays did you say? I didn't hear that part.
I said 50. twice.
Okay, well, I didn't listen to that part.
okay.
Well, what is balance to you on 50? Does balance mean 50-50? Is that what you're worried about? Like, because to me, balance offense doesn't mean equal split.
Okay. So what
It
you
means
think 30-20?
it means having a running game that you still at least have to respect and.
I'm not
vice
saying
versa.
I'm not saying to take away the running game. You pay DeAndre Swift. You've got Khalil Herbert. Roshan can get the ball too. That's all fine and dandy. We can run some reverses, whatever. But if
Please no reverses. No.
Whatever. I don't care.
I don't want to see the ball in Bayless's hands.
Okay, good. I agree. Don't let Bayless ever see the field again. Great. I'm on.
Jim Cook is in our chat, our idiot sales guy. He's pointing out that he said, I read a study that says that running with effectiveness doesn't actually help or hurt your play action, success rate. Mm-hmm. And I've seen this study before. Me and Jonathan Wood, who does good work analytically for the Bears blog, we had a healthy back and forth about this. And I don't care what the numbers say to this study that says it doesn't matter how much you run the ball, it doesn't affect play action one way or the other. I disagree. Football is a war of attrition, and when you run the ball effectively, you wear down a defense, which then opens up the play action game. If you're just running play action to play action, but you're not actually showing the defense that you're going to hammer them with the run, then football is a game of inches. So, that split second window that opens up is all the difference in the world. When you put a hat on a head, then they have to respect the run that much more, and the play action, to me, then is that much more effective. And I don't care what the numbers say.
I got it. Just will you do an exercise with me?
No, I won't.
Yes, you will.
I did enough exercise this morning.
All right, just say it with me. Say it with me right. Caleb Williams is different.
Caleb Williams is different.
Caleb Williams is going to be the greatest quarterback in the Bears franchise by 1,000,000 miles.
Caleb Williams is going to be the greatest quarterback for the Chicago Bears by 1,000,000 miles. I don't think that's what you said.
Caleb Williams is supremely talented.
Caleb Williams is supremely talented.
I have never seen a quarterback play like Caleb Williams in a Bears uniform.
I have never met a jackass bigger than Mark Carman on CHGO Bears.
I want to see Caleb Williams play football.
I want a new co-host.
35 plus 15 equals 50.
Mark Carman is 60 years old.
You actually got the math right and underlined the point that I'm trying to make. 35 to 15. Perfect. That is if you want to call that balanced, feel free. Throw the damn ball. He's Caleb frickin' Williams. We're not no more balanced Doug Flutie stupid ass frickin' Mitch Trubisky, Jason Campbell, Moses Moreno, whoever you want to name. No more balanced. You have Caleb Williams. This is a different era.
I love
the ball.
I love the fact that you were saying the most amazing things because we are headed into an amazing part of being a Bears fan, and yet Mubs was right. I felt like we were in church. You seem like some weird third grade Catholic kid just repeating prayers with the most monotone voice ever.
Well,
because I never know what road he's going to take me down. I get scared.
Never be scared. You're on the calm, good to go road. Damn it.
Just the way you said that right there is terrifying.
Okay.
Do your stroke voice. I know you were about to.
I
saw it coming. Where your tongue goes to the back of your throat. I just want the Bears to run the D formation.
Today was a little bit past that. Okay. That's all. I'm just saying, look, this is a different cat, man. Ain't no more balance. We got one of the best quarterbacks in the game. That's what he's going to be. Yep. That's what we're banking on. That's what I'm hoping for. Let him play. He's a rookie. By the way, buy our T-shirts. They're freaking awesome. CHGO Locker, franchise collection. I bought all 3 because I can't let Braggs outspend me on things, and I think they're sweet. So I've got all 3 on the way too. And damn it.
If everyone in the chat doesn't buy a T-shirt right now, we are going to talk about the stadium every day next week.
And you still might.
And grit. You can repeat after me in Jordan voice to get Gritty involved here. he's a different quarterback.
He's a different quarterback.
He's our quarterback.
He's our quarterback.
He's going to differentiate from the suppliers.
He's going to differentiate from the suppliers.
We are no longer victims to the victimization of prior Bear quarterbacks.
Who are no longer victims of the victimization of prior quarterbacks here in Chicago.
It's a new world that we're living in.
This is a new world that we're living in now.
We will realize our realistic expectations.
We're going to realize realistic expectations.
Speak it into existence. Exactly right,
If
Gritty.
you don't buy a T-shirt right now, next week we are going to do an entire show in Jordan voice.
People like the Jordan voice.
I will never wear pants again.
All right, a couple other things because I know we're over an hour now, but just a couple other things from that interview as I get back on track.
TWE said, "This is Jordan on mescaline."
I do like the fact that we've gotten rid of one of the all-time great Packers on the Pat McAfee show, and Ryan Poles, that's like his second or third appearance on the show.
They're friends. There's relationship there.
I mean, I'm not the biggest Pat McAfee fan. I think he's fine. I don't watch the show. I do love the fact that a Chicago Bear is just holding down that valuable real estate.
Sure. Hey, I enjoyed watching the interview. I'm not a diehard McAfee.
I mean, ultimately, I think the goal is what you want, and that's air it out, buy the shirt. I mean, that's what we all want to see.
It says the franchise on the shirt. It doesn't say balanced run, but balanced.
It says
offense.
air it out on the shirt.
Yeah,
and
that one too.
Right.
Sorry, my bad.
And the story I always go back to every year at training camp is I heard a Saints reporter say Drew Brees had a flawless practice. The ball did not touch the ground. He absolutely dominated every single snap for the 2 hours of this practice. And I have never seen that. I've never seen that in all my years going to training camp. And there's been a few times where the offense was impressive at camp. And it's always stood out because we're not used to seeing that here in Chicago. So I am very excited to go to training camp and see with my own eyes potentially an offense that stands out where you're like, whoa, this is different. I remember when Brandon Marshall came out to Bourbonnais for the first time ever. I had never seen a receiver play like he did with the size and frame, catch with one hand. I had never seen, when Jay Cutler first came, remember all the stories you can hear the ball zipping through the air. I'm excited with Keenan Allen and, Roma Dunze and Caleb Williams. Hell, even Tory Taylor, Pat McAfee saying you can hear his punts, how loud they are. I'm excited to go to camp and see things that I've never seen before watching the Bears.
Don't you kind of feel like once this gets off the ground and the Bears are successful, we're just not even like stadium news is going to come out and you're like, all right, fine, whatever. And I know you're already kind of like that, but to me, it's like the stadiums with the Bears and Sox, it's never been an issue really. Like you wouldn't be having those conversations if the Bears and Sox were good. And so if the Bears are actually going to be good, it's like, all right, Soldier Field's going to seem a lot more, palatable, right?
Yep.
So,
I
Jinx.
have no feel to what's coming next on this whole thing, but I don't feel great about it. But still holding out hope.
If the Bears are good next year and Caleb Williams is who we think he is, the parties we are going to throw, the tailgates are going to be unbelievable. We had so much fun at Joe's on Weed Street. It'll basically be that every day.
I think about the parties we threw in 2022, which were great parties.
Right.
And, the Bears got stomped all year long.
It's the greatest 3-win season in the history of the franchise. Caleb, by the way, speaking to the parties, he's reached out to everyone, according to polls. Some of the defense as well. He's talked to everyone on offense. Then he also made a comment about, we will make sure we adapt to his strengths so he can play fast and free and be comfortable. I really loved hearing that. A lot of changes in the playbook from college to the pro, so he's spending time in the playbook. He was told, Poles was told that he needed to take 5 minutes on the clock when he made the first overall pick. He needed to take at least 5 minutes. And then when he was asked about the stadium, too, hey, Ryan, sweet stadium, where are people parking? He has no idea.
He was like, I don't know.
You have no idea. Okay.
It's above his pay grade.
I thought the one little interesting tidbit, too, was that he never found out what people would be willing to offer for the first pick because he didn't want to get tantalized. He just went about his Caleb evaluation, loved the tape. When he came in for his 30 visit, fell further in love, and he never found out exactly what somebody was willing to offer.
Yep, I thought that was interesting too. Never even listened to it.
Like,
I don't think that's true though, because
Think he's
people had to be
lying?
calling for the 9 pick, right? And at
So-
no point during the 9 pick did someone say, "Well, what would it take for the number 1 pick?"
So right. He said they were calling on the 9 pick, and that
He just plugged his ears.
no, he said he listened, but nothing that would take us off of Rome. But he said, as far as no, I actually believe
Well,
it.
yeah, did he plug his ears if someone brought up the number 1 pick and just
Yeah, he
started?
plugged his ears on the 1, but he didn't plug his ears on the 9. He listened, but nobody that would take you off of Rome. When you want to know, I mean, obviously, everything we just said on the show, I'm not mad at him for drafting Caleb Williams, but I would, if in his position, what are you offering? What is it? But he didn't want to have that. He didn't want to be conflicted. I love the QB. We need a QB. We're taking the QB, period.
Right.
Would you want to know if you were him?
Nope.
You wouldn't.
Nope.
Really?
Nope.
Okay. Is this just your I believe in everything Poles does and
No, if you want to get deeper in the woods to it, you only have one opportunity, and if a team's going to sit there and offer you 3 first-round picks, 3 second-round picks, 3 third-round picks, that's great, but you're bumping another issue down the road. And if Justin Fields wasn't your guy, like this whole synopsis of people saying, well, let Justin play a year, and then if he isn't your guy next year, then you can go get a quarterback. Well, then you'd have to use all those picks that you traded, the quarterback you could have had, to move up to get a quarterback. This idea that they were going to have, to be in a position to draft Shedeur Sanders or whoever with a top 3 pick,
Right.
that wasn't going to happen. So to me, I'm not going to worry. I'm not going to worry about tomorrow, and I've got what I have in front of me today. A bird in the hand is worth 2 in the
go ahead.
bush.
You're an
We
adult.
always mess that up.
You can no, you got it.
Did I?
You did.
Because we've messed that up so many times on the show.
Oh, I thought you were
No, we've messed it up like 6 times. A bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. So the bird in the hand was Caleb Williams. Don't worry about it. Caleb Williams, no matter what.
you've come a long way. You nailed that. Is that an idiom, Kevin? You're smart.
I have lots of idioms. I am a
know what that
giant
is.
idiom.
I don't know.
All right. Any other
Diehards? You got diehards?
2 new diehards.
before we get to diehards, if Kevin Kaduk, head of content, was the Bears general manager, would you have found out what was being offered?
You'd have to listen. I mean, there's a lot of time in 4 or 5 months. You would have to know. I guess I just don't believe him.
Okay.
There's no way that you. I just don't think that. Yeah.
All right, who are our diehards?
TWE. Diehards in Jordan voice, please.
2 new diehards today. Brady.
People keep saying that my Jordan voice is like you're using the racist word. What I don't understand where that's coming from at all.
Don't entertain those people.
It's-
You're having fun. Just enjoy the people that are enjoying it. Don't even
Nobody
entertain the
loves
people that wanna
MJ
turn
more
it
than me.
into
Go
a-
ahead.
Brady and Nick are 2 new diehards.
Oh, Brady. Certainly Brady.
It's the name of Mariano's dog.
Nick's dog is Brady.
Yeah.
Brady, I'm going to stick with regular voice here for that because, Brady, you're not a dog. In fact, you're human. You're a great human. And the fact that Kevin...
Brady or Brady?
Brady.
Brady.
As in
Brady or
Tom.
who?
I didn't know. I wasn't listening.
Brady as in...
As in Tom, not Sizemore.
Brady as in our GOAT. You're our GOAT, Brady. You are the official GOAT of diehardness. This is the time. This is the place. You've got the steely-eyed. Brady gets everything out of his ability. Brady rises people. I know what it is. I just misspoke. Brady lifts people up to levels they can't
He's
get
a
to.
Brady. Whoa. He's a Brady. I'm sorry.
Best moment you ever had on the show. Next.
I'm sure you were a big Brady Bunch person.
We just
I
got a
love the
thumbs
Brady.
down for that.
I love the Brady Bunch. Here's the story. Go ahead.
No,
No,
it's
you
you.
don't.
It's all you.
But Robert Lee says your Jordan impersonation sounds like an old drunk man from the South, which is actually what Michael Jordan is right now.
I was having some whiskey after
Tequila.
No, he loves the brown.
I thought I liked tequila.
Well, at least in The Last Dance, he was drinking whiskey to the tin.
What? No, I think it was tequila.
It was orange. Brown.
Hit 1 if you think it was tequila. Hit 2 if you think it was whiskey in The Last Dance.
I mean, he might like tequila too, but he was definitely drinking whiskey in The Last Dance. Two for whiskey, 1 for tequila. Who else?
Shout out to Gritty. He says, I'm Nick. I subbed yesterday. Give me that Jordan voice. LOL. Nick is in the chat. The call is coming from inside the house.
He's like flabbergasted. Nick subscribed yesterday.
Oh, I subscribed.
Yeah.
Subbed. Okay. I was taking
I knew
it.
I had to explain
I'm
that.
subbing today.
Yeah,
but,
that's how I was saying. I'm like, Nicholas Moriano. Nick. Dynamic. Appreciate you, Nick. Thank you. All right, who's next?
That's it.
Just Brady?
Brady and Nick.
Brady and Nick.
Nick.
Yeah, he's one of them.
Yeah, you got to do a little
Now
more.
I got it. I'm really slow today. All right. Hey, Nick.
We've got another hour show to do later today. The CHGO Sports Podcast at 4:30. Me, Carm, and whoever else wants to subject
And I'm
themselves
going to be
the
producing the CHGO Cubs post-game show, and by the time you get done with your Nick
Playing the Mets
shout
again
out,
today?
they're playing the Mets right now. I got them on.
Oh, it's a noon show?
Got 'em on right here.
Noon game?
Yeah. They're
Well,
up 1-0.
Let me tell you about
Top
Nick.
of the fifth.
Let me tell you about Nick.
Man, I'm first.
Let me tell you what
Ian
Nick
Happ
does.
up.
He's a guy that can hit at the top of the order. He can hit at the bottom of the order. He's a do-it-aller. Whatever you need, Nick is going to be there. Nick, no task too big, no task too small. Nick's not a guy that puts his best foot forward when he wants to. He's a best foot forward always, and that's how he got to this point in life, and that's what we appreciate him, and that's why we are so glad to welcome Nick to the Die Hard family. Certainly, Nick. Welcome, Nick. You're the man.
Let's
You know
go,
what?
Nick.
I've been a diehard for 2 years, and at some point this summer, I would like a diehard shout out, and a nice one. The way you treat the rest of our diehards. That's what I want.
You want
At
to be
some point,
shouted out for being
I
a
am a diehard. I deserve a diehard shout out.
Okay, Greg. I'll get you a
Some
shout
point
out
this
for-
summer, but I want you to take your time.
No problem. Nick, Gritty, Greg.
Paint me like one of your French girls. It's a Titanic reference.
Kevin, did you have fun today being here?
I had a great time.
Was this a great time?
I had a great time.
Okay.
It felt a little rusty, but it's like getting on a
I
bike.
thought you were on your game.
it
You,
was
the
fun.
guys to your left and right were kind of struggling, but you did great. Trace Rawls on the Super Chat, $10. Why should they pay for a stadium in full and not get all of the revenue? Only dumb people that can't muster brain cells think they should pay all. Either help with the bill or give all the profits to the Chicago Bears. And another $10 from the Rawls. You people realize what the possibility is if the state doesn't help pay for a new stadium. Look at Oakland. Every single sports team gone because they didn't want to pay for upgrades, pay up. You know what, Rawls, that's an interesting point that you're making right there. And Rick Morrissey did a great job in the Sun-Times underlining this because they try to sell it to you like, well, it's a hotel tax. So people from out of state are paying it. You're not paying it. The problem is if you do it here, then there's going to be a hotel tax everywhere else that you're going. So you're paying it there when you travel. And by the way, also people like, where do you live in the suburbs? If you want to spend a night in the city, there's a lot of people that do that. Come down, see a show, go to a game, whatever, have dinner. And you pay for you stay at a hotel if you want to, hang out. You do it. So we're all paying for it. But that's why they got to negotiate their Rawls.
And you buy a ticket to a sporting event in the city, there's a tax on that ticket, the amusement tax.
Yeah, and that too. Listen, I wish it was better for the common folk out there. I wish that when you wanted to buy a ticket in the secondary market, like you did back in the day, you could walk out on the street and find my guy who will sell it to you, or somebody who's dumping tickets. Nowadays, you have to find it. A lot of times you're paying just in ways that you shouldn't be paying. At any rate, I'll let it go at that point. So. I had fun today.
Good time.
I had fun today, but I'm going to have even more fun tomorrow. In the Wrigley Field bleachers, You got to find somebody to do the show with you, Carm. Gotta figure that one out, buddy.
Got another super
I think
chat
Nick
from
has the
Pidge.
day off tomorrow, does he not? We'll figure it out. Hey, you want to shout out Pidge?
Pidge, my guy, Pidge. Just a great
Could be a girl.
pigeon. My girl, Pidge.
Humans.
It's probably a guy looking at our
Could be
our back end.
What a bird. Just $10 super chat. Just wanted to congratulate you all on all the work you did on the draft. It was a historic one for sure. CHGO is giving us the best Bears content out there. Hope to meet you all at a live event one day.
Let's
Bear
go.
down. That was very nice of you, Pidge.
Our next event's going to be in Gary Ross's backyard. So,
That sounds great.
where does he live? Algonquin?
I don't know.
Romeoville?
I don't know.
Undisclosed.
Undisclosed?
We're not at liberty to reveal
Russ, at least
his location.
Kevin knows. Kevin knows all. Hey, thanks for watching today. Thank you to James for jumping on from the UK, who I think
That
stole the
was
show
fun.
today. That was awesome. Thank you to Steven producing. Thank you to all who chatted, and thank you to all who subscribed today. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button on the way out as we try to grow this thing to the moon. We appreciate you.
Get that butcher box.
Get that butcher
Code
box.
CHGO, $20 off. You get a haul. I got the butcher box haul. My freezer is stocked with meat.
Perfect box.
Perfect. Come on.
It's in the ad.
Okay.
It's literally in the ad. It's perfect.
It's perfect.
And that's what you need, and that's what you
I
deserve.
thought you were being perverted. Close the show.
I mean, I was, but it's in the ad. All right. See you later. We'll see you tomorrow.
We all silly like the mayor.